Joining us now to discuss is Sean Farrell. He's the Global Advisor Head of Digital Asset Strategy at research firm Fundstrat. Sean, thanks for joining us. So Bitcoin trading pretty steady to start off the year. Not much concerned about potential cracks in the DCG empire yet, or could we potentially see a further bottoming leg in the future?
Yeah, first, thanks for having me. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, so we've really seen, after that giant leg down in November, we've really seen vol start to churn, which frankly mimics the end of most prior cycles. First we have this, pretty big leg of price capitulation, where we see a lot of capital exit the market. And then we normally have a little bit of, vol churn, which we just mentioned, over this extended period of time. And then eventually, activity starts to pick up and we start to see a new cycle start over. So I think the tight trading ranges, while frustrating, is a good sign that we are likely close to a good buying opportunity. And then with, regards to the DCG fiasco, it's an issue that we've discussed as, the last remaining idiosyncratic risk, we'll call it, in the crypto markets. But I think what's tough to price in right now is, what the health of DCG looks like and what that means for asset prices. Asset prices will be affected if and only if there is a reason to that people need to market sell. Forced selling is what brought us down over the past, 12 months, frankly. And DCG is, obviously, they own these trust products. And regardless of whether we see, if we see bankruptcies and these two firms are tied up in, legal battles that could extend months, it's not like we're going to see a lot of forced selling. And so I think markets right now are kind of, they're still on the balls of their feet, but there's no clear indication that there should be any additional forced selling from DCG distressed.
Is there concern in the same way that there was concern with FTX and Alameda and with Genesis and DCG problems that Cameron Winklevoss from Gemini seems to be alluding to? They're saying that DCG is potentially commingling funds between Genesis and DCG. That's a huge allegation without any evidence. And if anything, they apparently owe Gemini $900 million that they allege, and they've halted withdrawals at Genesis. Is there the same kind of concerns?
Yeah, again, the concerns are along a spectrum. I think there is certainly a possibility that DCG misrepresented their relationship with Genesis. A lot of that happened behind closed doors, so it's tough to speculate on that matter. I think it's important to understand that Gemini is, a U.S. regulated company. They took customer deposits for their Gemini Earn product and lent them out. And so there will need to be some kind of resolution there, and that resolution will happen under U.S. jurisdiction. And the latest move from the Winklevoss seem to be putting the onus on misrepresentation on the Genesis side of things, which would kind of take the onus off of Gemini, for incurring too much counterparty risk and not vetting their partners, right? And would put the liability onto Genesis specifically.
All right. Switching subjects, today marks the 14-year anniversary of when Satoshi Nakamoto mined the first Bitcoin block. So maybe we could reflect on this achievement. Bitcoin still, is up considering, 14 years ago, 16,637. Who would have ever thought? What's your outlook on Bitcoin?
Yeah, so full disclosure, we come out, our team's going to come out with our 2023 outlook on January 19th. Definitely encourage anyone interested in our services to sign up and check that out. But, broadly speaking, obviously this year, last year was very tough, but a lot of that a lot of the troubles that we saw came from the more opaque areas of the market, right? The over leveraged parts, the parts that I think you'd struggle to actually call crypto. If anything, the last year kind of reinforced the thesis of censorship resistant money, composable and transparent smart contracts, and digital ownership. So I think anyone that entered the space with that in mind should celebrate today, celebrate the Genesis block, and be excited for what the crypto industry has ahead of itself. In terms of price outlook, I will say, we're coming off a year of a year in which the dollar had more strength than it's had in the previous decade. We saw liquidity get sucked out of the economy at a faster clip than we have ever seen before. And seeing as Bitcoin has acted historically as this liquidity sink and this way to hedge against future inflation expectations. We obviously think that it's going to be a surprisingly promising year for crypto asset prices.
Fundstrat's Tom Lee, at the end of 2021, he said that Bitcoin could reach $100,000 last year, and that $200,000 was achievable. Do you still think that's achievable?
Depends on your time frame. Is it achievable? Of course, anything is achievable, but I guess you'll have to tune into our outlook.